Hello everyone, this is Suresh Kothari. Welcome to the fifth segment of my talk. Here we will discuss an important concept in algebra, homomorphisms, and how homomorphisms can be used for software verification. We will discuss software verification in the context of safety and security. It is useful to think of vulnerabilities as unknown and known. Unknown vulnerabilities are the ones that have never been seen before. They need to be hypothesized. The known vulnerabilities have been seen before. Once we have hypothesized an unknown vulnerability, or if it is a known vulnerability, we are ready to build fault models. The fault models help us to identify relevant parts of the program, and from the relevant parts we need to derive relevant execution behaviors, and with relevant execution behaviors we can verify software. DeMello, Lipton and Perlis point out the need for program proofs that can be understood and cross-checked by humans. We did a study of verifying the Linux kernel and found that several vulnerabilities were missed by the model checker because it either timed out or crashed. Interestingly, we also found instances where the model checker erroneously verified some instances as safe. Machine-centric software verification uses model checkers or constraint solvers, and their low-level representations are not well suited for human comprehension. The verification does not produce evidence to enable human cross-checking. Sometimes counterexamples are produced for unsafe instances, but no evidence for safe instances. Also, the machine-centric verification does not facilitate collaboration between human and machine to address difficulties that cause model checkers and constraint solvers to crash or time out. The human-centric software verification is about facilitating human cross-checking to build trust in software verification. Also to enable human-machine collaboration to address difficulties that machine cannot handle. The algebra is important for human-centric verification. It promotes human comprehension, and as we shall discuss now, it distills and presents just the relevant information for ease of verification. Let's again go back to the DBZ example to illustrate the concept of relevant program parts and relevant execution behaviors. In DBZ, the vulnerability occurs because of division by zero. That's the fault model. So the relevant parts of the program are the parts that modify the denominator. In this case, the parts that modify the variable d. We have highlighted the relevant parts. These are program statements 4, 12 and 15. So in the truth table, we highlight those program statements and we look at the subsequences which consist of just the relevant program statements. So we get the relevant behaviors 417, 412 and 17, 415 and 17, And we see that these relevant behaviors are repeated multiple times in the truth table. So what we want to get is, given the relevant part of the program, just the distinct relevant execution behaviors, and we want to do so without enumerating all the behaviors, because enumerating all the behaviors is intractable. So getting the relevant parts of the program, we know how to do it, but going from relevant program parts to relevant execution behaviors has been a problem. And without getting to the relevant execution behaviors, even the known vulnerabilities continue to reappear. For example, 40% of the security vulnerabilities reported each year are still buffer overflow vulnerabilities. Let's start with a review of homomorphisms in algebra. A homomorphism is a structure preserving mapping. Structure preserving implies the operations are preserved. So we have h of x plus y is equal to hx plus hy, and hxy is hx times hy. Klein introduced the term homomorphism in mathematics in 1892. Modulo operation on integers is a homomorphism. Homomorphisms are critically important as proof techniques in algebra. The famous triangle trisection problem is proved by homomorphisms on an algebraic structure called field. Linear algebra is a study of homomorphisms on an algebraic structure called vector space. In algebra, homomorphisms are used to enable proofs, especially to address the challenge of infinitely many cases that must be considered in a proof. Homomorphisms distill the essentials for a good proof that avoids unnecessary complexity. We will see that in software it is useful to use homomorphisms to prove safety and security properties. The homomorphism can distill the essentials for verifying the property. Homomorphisms significantly reduce the computation without sacrificing accuracy, and they introduce simplifications that can facilitate holistic understanding of analysis results by humans. The way we will use homomorphism is, given a property P, we will find the relevant parts for the property P, and then we will chop off the parts which are not relevant. And that's what the homomorphism will be used for, and the homomorphism will be applied to the compact representation of program behaviors to get a homomorphic image. The compact representation to start with represents all behaviors, and the homomorphic image will represent just the behaviors relevant for the program property P. We will use the notation 1 sub m for multiplicative identity when we want to distinguish it from other ones, such as the program statement 1. Now let's illustrate a homomorphism for the division by 0. This program, the relevant program statements are 4, 12 and 15. We mark those in the CRB. So we have the CRB and the relevant program statements are highlighted in blue. Now we chop off the program statements which are not relevant, and we get a reduced algebraic expression, which is the homomorphic image. The homomorphic image gives us the relevant execution behaviors. As before, when we simplify the algebraic expression and get the individual term, each individual term corresponds to a behavior, in this case a relevant execution behavior. Here we get 3 relevant execution behaviors, of which one can cause the division by 0 vulnerability. It is the behavior which makes D equal to A2 minus A1, and it tells us that the vulnerability can occur if we give inputs A1 and A2 which are equal. The relevant execution behavior also tells us the conditions under which the vulnerability can occur. So the relevant behavior is the term 2, and the condition is 8 is true and 9 is false. That's when the vulnerability can occur and produce D equal to A2 minus A1. Now let's look at the second example, where we must check lock is followed by unlock for all execution behaviors. Here the relevant statements are 4 and 8, lock and unlock. Those are highlighted in the CRB. Then we apply the homomorphism. It chops off the parts which are not relevant, and we get a compact representation of relevant behaviors. The compact representation of relevant behaviors is shown here. The compact representation of relevant behaviors points to the vulnerable behavior. In this case, the vulnerable behavior will occur when 3 is true. So that's when we enter the while loop. Then we get 4 lock, and then 5 is true. When 5 is true, there is a break, and thus we get a lock not followed by an unlock. So we can see that how homomorphisms are useful to distill the relevant execution behaviors. Next, we are going to discuss multi-level function sequences. So far we have talked about execution behaviors within a function. Often we have to consider execution behaviors across multiple functions. And that is what we will do using multi-level function sequences. And the way we will get multi-level function sequences is again by using homomorphisms.